Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by absolutely nobody, because I've forgotten to share out the link, but I'm going to join politics in a moment. So I've been slightly waylaid today, hence there is literally nobody here other than a whole bunch of people in a politics server that I haven't yet joined. So I'll do that now. Hopefully there'll be people chit-chatting and saving my bacon, given I've started slightly later than I intended. Hello, people of politics. Well, nice to be here. I've started late today, so I've joined a server that I was hoping there'd be a load of discussion in, but clearly there is not. Such is life. I'll go and try our own server, see if there's anybody waiting for me to start live there.
Tangents are not part of a sphere. No. A tangent is aligned to a curved surface, or a sphere in this case. You don't have that.
A tangent is a horizontal. It's perpendicular to plumb. That definition.
An azimuth is a horizontal line. It's not a tangent. It's an azimuth. It's a course. You go from point A to point B horizontally. It's a vector.
A chord? A vector? No, it's not a vector.
It is a vector. An azimuth.
So what's the definition of a vector?
A direction.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's a axis of freedom. From a
vector has direction and magnitude.
Welcome to Flat Earth, eh?
Because I know the definition of a vector and you do not? Okay.
No, because you said horizontal line, spheres. There is nothing horizontal on the surface of a sphere.
Okay, so I'm going to say this one more time. If you don't understand it, I can explain in more depth, but you're not getting it. A tangent line is a horizontal line if it is perpendicular to plumb.
So, welcome to Flat Earth, because there are no horizontal lines on the surface of a sphere.
So try to repeat what I just said.
Omnivore.
You don't have perpendicular to plumb on the surface of a sphere. Perpendicular is 90 degrees.
I did not say okay, so the horizontal line does not go along the surface of the sphere. It is tangent to the sphere.
So Omnivore, you know, accurate is because the surface is curving.
So, do you know what a non-developable surface is in geometry?
We're talking about the Earth, though.
I know. I'm asking if he knows what a non.
Do you ask a question with a? You always answer questions with another.
Yes.
Question?
Well, I do, because I started making assumptions that flat earthers understood what I was saying, and I learned very quickly that usually was not the case.
So are you going to answer or present your argument?
Yes. Okay. So because the Earth is a non-developable surface.
Yes, I've just muted my line in Discord just so we can talk amongst ourselves for a moment, Neil. Yes, we are live. Yes, this is going out live to you in chat asking.
It's the Earth is a non-developable surface. Therefore,
It sounds like begging the question.
It's not begging the question. That is what the reason is for the distortion in all maps, all map projections.
Put in an argument.
So now all
okay. So it's not an argument. It is literally the reason. So do you understand what a projection means in geometry, mathematics?
What I understand is that the visible boundary between where the sky appears to meet the land or the sea, it's a horizontal line, and all horizontals are parallel to it, and no. I know you believe that.
Yes. I know you have that belief.
It's not I believe in that. It's a definition of the words.
Okay, so yes, you believe that. So Amir, that is the answer. Okay, those maps are all projections of a globe. Whether or not the Earth is a globe is something you could choose to not believe or argue or whatever. I'm not arguing that right now. Okay, I don't care about that. But they are.
Your argument. So you're not making an argument. So you're not making an argument that the reason that the maps have distortions is because the surface is curving. That's not your argument.
No, that's not my argument. My argument is that all maps have my position is that all maps have distortions. Okay.
As for your argument.
You're not answering.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You're not addressing what I said. Hello?
George, I'll get to you in a second. George, I'll get to you in a second.
Omnivore.
I'm trying to answer Amir. He thinks I didn't answer him. So.
No, you did. You said no. You said no. You didn't have an argument. That was your answer.
I didn't say I didn't have an argument. I said I'm not making that argument.
So
the horizon
that's
is not
the answer.
tangent.
The answer is you're not making an argument.
Yeah, I don't see how you would come to the conclusion that maps having distortions is a point of argument.
That was your argument. You said you brought up distortions.
It's not my argument. So Amir, you're okay. So I want you
don't have an argument.
No, I need you to. I want you to understand what's going on here, okay? Without jumping to the conclusion. So,
what conclusion? I asked you for your argument.
I know. I understand that. So let me explain to you.
You're not making an argument,
right? And I asked you a question, and you didn't want to answer it. So I'm gonna. So that means if I take it, that you understand what I'm talking about, obviously, then we get into this, you don't have an argument nonsense. So let me explain. All right.
What do you mean? That's what you said.
No, I said I'm not making that argument.
I
didn't say I don't have an argument.
What is your argument?
Yes. Okay. Well, my argument is that all maps have distortions. Every projection map of the Earth has different distortions. That's my claim.
And your argument would be?
The argument, I mean, you could just look at the maps and you can see that there are different distortions. But if that doesn't make any sense to you, then what you can do is this. We can start with, do we agree that those maps are all projections of a globe? Yes or no?
Yes, let's address the horizon.
Yes. Okay, good.
The horizon is not the tangent. Hello?
Look, one thing at a time.
Is not the tangent.
George, one thing at a time. Okay, so George agrees they are all projections of a globe. Do you agree they're all projections of a globe, Amir?
I think the coordinate system,
yes,
how they develop the coordinate system.
Yes.
The coordinate system has some type of some
longitude only longitude.
Well, I was going to say they just have some hidden variables that are not really known to me.
Okay, so you believe in hidden variables. I'm not going to address that right now. Well, let's take it as a matter of faith, right? So there's some hidden variables in the coordinate system, and what that means is that when I'm making a flat map, I am doing some sort of math, which is called a projection, to take it from a globe shape to a flat surface. Now, in geometry, a globe is called a non-developable surface, which means you cannot mathematically transform it to a flat shape without distortion. I'll say that again because it's super important. If you are going from a curved shape, a spherical type shape, to a flat shape, mathematically you cannot do that without creating distortion. That's not an opinion. That's just how geometry works.
Doing it then.
It's true the other way around, too.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true if you take a planar surface.
Yes.
And then you turn that into a sphere, right? It will have distortions, right?
Yes, it will. Yeah. So, but what that means is that all of those maps that you could reference, the Mercator projection, the AE projection, the Buckminster-Fuller projection, all of those projections that you're referenced to are projections from a globe. If you have a map that's not a projection from a globe, more power to you. Those aren't the maps I'm talking about.
And they're all distorted. And who cares?
As far as I know, nobody's using them. What that means
map of the Holland is not projection of the globe.
Yeah. What that means is that
it's map of the Holland projection of the globe.
I know you're interrupting me. I got it.
I'm asking you a question.
Sasha. He's in the middle of a conversation with Amir. Just step off for a second.
So, what that means is that any map that you choose, any world map that has that is a projection from a globe.
I'll mute myself in the Hangout so we can still talk about what's going on if you like, Eli and Neil. In other words, don't feel like you've got to remain silent while I'm on mute in this Discord server.
If you think that's an argument,
why you're allowing it.
It's not. It's
so
not an
comment
argument
on it as it takes place.
It's an explanation. If you think that that's contentious, I don't know what to tell you. Take a look at the geometry of it.
Yeah, you said they started with a globe.
Yes. All of those maps.
You're assuming
it started with a globe.
No, I'm not assuming the conclusion. That's literally how they make the maps. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe it's a flat surface. Maybe they're evil Illuminati people trying to fool you.
Maybe it's a flat
all
surface.
of those projections start from a globe. Now, you can say that that's an incorrect view of the Earth. You could say that that is a big lie. Whatever you want to say, whatever conspiracy theory you want to...
Let's see if one of the panel in Discord figure out to ask him where the globe came from to start projecting it back flat again. Let's see if they get there.
Literally why those maps are all called projections.
No, it's because you made two claims. You made the claim, which I agree with, that you say that maps have distortions. And then you also made the claim that they started with a globe. Those are your words verbatim.
Started with a globe.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're connecting those two.
Both claims, absolutely. So show me a map that is not a projection, a world map.
Burden of proof.
Yeah, so a map. I mean, you could take like all the
pictures. Show me a world map that's not a projection. If you can find one,
you can take all the pictures from Google. They're all taken from the same elevation. You know that they're all taken from about the same height of like commercial airplanes.
Yes.
And you can actually put them all together and they make a map. Did you know that?
Okay. I've heard the claims. So I just want to make something clear. If you are referring to any map,
no,
and the name of that map is a blank, fill in the blank projection, that map, definitionally by its name, started with a globe. Do you follow why I'm saying that?
No, I just gave you an example of one that doesn't have any projection on it. It's the Google took pictures at elevation of
started with the globe. Now we're here.
Jets,
started with the globe. Now the whole ball's here.
Okay, is this a map projection? No,
I said it's not a projection. They're actually
okay. So then, that's a map.
Well, they're going back and forth. It didn't. It started with elevation angles to stars to create the globe to then project it flat. Just spoilers for the flat earthers listening in.
You can look them up at the same elevation. You can zoom out, and when there's still pictures of the Earth and all that.
When you zoom out, is the Earth a sphere?
It's actually after that. It's not a real actual images.
When you zoom out from Google Earth, is it?
They're not images anymore.
Okay,
you know that, right?
All right. All right.
You know they're not images, right? You know they're not actual.
No, I'm not sure. What you're talking about is not a map projection. It's not.
That's what I said. I said it isn't a projection.
Yeah. Okay.
You asked me for a map of the Earth. That's not a projection. I just gave you. Right.
Okay.
I just gave you one.
Okay. So that if you zoom out, it turns into a globe, and the globe.
It's not. It doesn't. Does not. You can't zoom. When you take pictures from the same elevation, you're taking it all from a plane.
Okay.
From a single plane. That's where Google takes all its pictures.
And did they take maps?
It doesn't. Mm-hmm. You can't zoom out after that because they actually become images. They don't actually become photographs.
Okay.
Did you know?
So if you consider that a map, and if you consider that to be not to be distorted in any way.
So the ground view of Google Earth, again, spoiler, is used professionally. People pay for the software and build stuff using it.
Pictures to the globe.
It's using linear distances and is flat.
I told you about the pictures, not you're just how it goes to the globe. No, that's just it becomes.
Why are you talking about pictures?
But there's also Lidar maps. Are you familiar with?
Well, what he's doing, Neil, is he's trying to take it from the projected globe and say that will only ever distort, and then flip the burden. So we're working from there thus far.
At a horizontal level across the usually you take the perimeter of.
When you say a horizontal level, are you assuming that the level is horizontal?
No, so a plane flies.
So can you take that?
Second interruption.
A plane flies, with respect to its artificial horizon. The artificial horizon, that gets from its gyroscope. It flies at certain elevation, and it has to fly in certain elevation so the Lidar can instantly map the ground beneath.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So
can you find a citation that the level flight is horizontal? No, you can't.
That is freaking retarded.
So show me that citation.
Lidar mapping.
No, show me that citation. I do. I know about it. Yes, I know about it. What you cannot find, and your positive claim, is that the level flight of the plane is horizontal.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Okay, so I just told you, and you already denying before I presented.
I'm not.
Again, we could just spoil his attempted rumpusings, right? Horizontal is horizontal.
The Lidar pictures is flying horizontal.
Yeah, that's level.
You can definitely look it up. Just the process itself.
It's level your claim, right? Amir. It's Amir.
You want a citation? You have to look up.
I do want a citation. Yes, I do, because you're wrong about that. And so if you try to find a citation for it, you will discover you're wrong about it.
No, I know exactly where you get it from.
You have a citation for 2 + 2 = 4.
What is that? NASA Oceanic from NASA. NOAA.
You got a citation that level is horizontal, for level flight, because you're saying that's level.
Do Lidar mapping for them.
Okay. Show me the site that says the plane flying and taking the Lidar pictures is flying horizontally.
Here we go again.
See, Lidar mapping systems especially use horizontal mapping, utilizing laser pulse to create detailed 3D models of an area, with some systems achieving horizontal accuracy for up to 1 centimeter.
So show me the citation.
You just told me to give each a citation.
Yes, I want. So, are you afraid to share the link?
Projection.
What do you mean afraid to share? I'm showing you that you. Are you? If you know about it, you.
I'm asking. So I'm asking you for the citation.
I just showed you a citation.
You didn't.
A Lidar mapping vector nav.
You just read vector something nav. Out.
That's a citation.
Are you willing to put the link in the chat?
Are you able to see the chat?
I can see the chat. I can't post in it, obviously, but you can put the link in there.
All right. Give me a minute.
Oh, you put it in Globe Earth Central.
No, it's a vector nav. But I can.
Main text chat.
Real quick.
Am I going to have to step in again because there's silence? Well, this is fun. So did we get to clear up that the globe and all the maps that are utilised have come from that globe? The flatties didn't seem to want to concede that to Omni. Did that get cleared up or what? I mean, we'll get onto citations for horizontal being level, for level flight, and that we'll come back to that. But I'm just a little bit bemused as to why the flatties wouldn't concede that to Omni. Right? All the globe projections that we use for mapping. Go on, George. He was talking to you, right?
Yeah. So I just to finish this conversation here, I just posted the link. It's called Vector Nav. The citation is LiDAR sensors are able to achieve a range accuracy of 0.5 to 10 millimeters relative to the sensor and a mapping accuracy of up to 1 centimeter horizontal and 2 centimeters vertical.
Okay. Yep. So
the conversation took a turn.
No,
we were talking about the horizon, that visible boundary where the sky appears to meet the land or the sea.
I'm really sorry to do this to you, George.
George,
I didn't do that to throw you a lifeline to join in. I'm really sorry. Right? Omni's talking to Amir. If he's done and he rounds out, then fine, he'll come back to you. He did say that. He's been ever so polite. That's why I'm backing him. But I wasn't doing that just so you could jump back in. I'm really sorry, George. Guys, carry on.
No, that's okay. I thought that they were done. Fine.
No.
Yeah, I kind of was done. He's just not going to concede that.
Well, no, we'll see, Amir.
Okay.
I just asked you.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. So I gave you a citation. It used horizontal. Here's the LiDAR.
This is
another citation.
Okay.
A LiDAR unit scans from side to side with some having a full 360-degree horizontal field of view, which creates a very dense point cloud and represents a surrounding area.
Yes.
So,
correct.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Flies horizontal.
So I just... No. Okay. What I asked for was a citation that the plane was flying horizontally. I know that providing a citation is probably a new thing for you on this server.
He's going to hold him to
the whole thing's it's horizontal.
Right?
No.
The LiDAR mapping thing rotates horizontally. Yes. But what your claim was that the plane that's using the LiDAR system is flying horizontally. That's the claim that I asked you to provide a citation for, which I don't
level
think you
fly.
can do.
Yeah, that's how planes fly. We've got pitch data for this, by the way.
Data, buddy.
Process, but I can bring it up here. I can bring it up here.
Yeah. Well, you said I wouldn't. You said I wouldn't concede. So I just wanted to.
No, you didn't concede.
I did. Right. I did not concede. Yes.
We'll see if he gets
because
there,
what I asked for is not what you provided. Like I said, I'm happy to provide citations because in my experience, when I make a claim,
makes me wonder, is he testing him?
Now that's probably not.
Bosh.
Okay, research gate. Representation of a LiDAR scan along a horizontal plane in a simulated environment.
So does that say that the plane is flying a horizontal path?
Yeah, that's what it says. Horizontal plane.
Okay, so
that's flies in a
horizontal plane is not talking about the plane is not the airplane there.
No, it's flying.
Just one second, Omni. Sorry.
Okay, so
Neil, hold on one second. Sorry, just one second, guys. Sorry to interrupt. I'm really sorry. Let's just hear it again, Amir. Hopefully without interruption.
Oh yes. So a representation of the LiDAR scan along a horizontal plane in a simulated environment.
Stop a second.
The plane
I'm hoping to get it without interruption. Third attempt. And maybe it's devastating to Omni that he doesn't want to come in unimpeded. I don't get it, but let's try third time. Go ahead, Amir.
So Amir.
So shut up. So shut your mouth.
The plane in question.
So shut your mouth, you arrogant twat that won't shut up because he's losing.
That's not what it means. But
we haven't heard it. We haven't heard it yet. We haven't heard it yet. We haven't heard it yet. We're just hearing Omni, the wanker who can't shut up. I'm going to ask for a fourth time to get Amir to cite that which you're scared of. Are you scared of hearing the citation? Okay. Shut up.
All right.
Shut up. Fifth time that he's impeded this. What a coward. Amir, fifth attempt. Yeah, hopefully you'll get it unimpeded this time. Go ahead.
Yeah, so no, what I'm reading is just ResearchGate. So they have a when the plane flies, it says scans along it, the representation of a lidar scan along a horizontal plane in a simulated environment. So it's just showing how it works when the plane and the lidar goes along a elevation, and then they're taking those data points and then showing this. I'm just talking about the particular place I'm at right here. It says it just represents it as a horizontal plane in a simulated environment.
So just so we're clear. Okay. All right.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I think we're conceding that you cannot find a citation that shows that the plane is flying horizontally.
Gosh, pitch data.
No, I wasn't prepared to talk about lidar map.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's okay.
I have this citation. It's from Noah. So Noah.
Yeah, you have a citation. Something else. I got it.
I have to step in again.
This is well, I can show you exactly. Just give me a minute.
That's fine. Look, this is new for a bunch of people. Having to provide citations is not a common thing in these discussions for some of us, for some positions. But I do want to talk about pitch data since Droid,
proactively
Divergent Droid, posted some pitch data.
I told you that was where it was going.
You are aware that...
Hold on. Pitch from what? Pitch from what?
Oh, God.
From an airplane.
George, oh, God, hold on.
No. The airplane gets pitch from
George.
It gets a pitch from sensors, including inclinometers.
Sorry, I'm really sorry, Omni. I've got to take control. I'm sorry, Omni. George, I'm so sorry. I know you're waiting in the wings, mate. Omni's leading up to this. He's built up to pitch data, not you. Let him go. Go ahead, Omni.
Yes.
So do you know what an internal critique is, Divergent Droid, versus an external critique?
Oh, he's talking to Divergent Droid now. Very interesting.
I guess Divergent Droid isn't in the chat. Okay. So an internal critique is where you're asking, is this thing I'm critiquing internally consistent?
Why is he so nervous?
The external critique is where you're challenging the assertions of the fact of whatever it is you're critiquing. So the problem with the pitch data argument is that the pitch data is produced by internal systems. It's trying to use it as an external critique is just a category error. So what that means, it's probably complex for a lot of listeners, and I'm sure Divergent Droid doesn't.
Gotta wait for this.
But
please give us all the details.
If you analyze the pitch data from the perspective of the people who gathered and logged it and created it, then the plane does not have to show pitch when it is doing level flight, even though that is following a curve.
It does show pitch when doing level flight,
The pitch data will be changed by the...
It doesn't have to. That's the problem. It doesn't have to.
Flaps in the tail, and it'll be changed by a fairly complicated series.
Elevators. Elevating from what?
Oh, God, George, please.
They're called elevators.
George's question is perfect.
Yeah, but elevating from what?
I want to let him go, though. I'm really sorry. Hold on a second. Omni, it's 2 against 1 here, right? Brian's telling me that George should be allowed to let his question fly. So I'm really sorry. George, go ahead. I'm sorry, Omni. There, George.
You said pitch, yeah? Pitch data. Pitch from what? An elevator. What is the elevator for? Elevating from what?
Elevation is the distance from mean sea level. That's the definition that the people who...
Welcome to fly
the elevators of the airplane. Elevating from what?
From what?
Mean sea level. But the elevators are just the flaps on the tail.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep, boom.
So,
I'll ask
the problem with using the pitch
chill.
data argument.
Everyone chill, everyone relax. Okay, yeah, so what? It's the conclusion. Pitch from sea level, yeah, that was where it was going. Well done, George. You did kind of spoil the fun. It was going quite well. But yeah, that is the conclusion. Welcome to Flat Earth, Omni. Why were you so nervous? Is this the awful truth that you're having to contemplate? Don't want to be a flat earther, right, Omni?
I'm just here to explain to you how the conversation.
Everyone shut up except Omni. I want to hear Omni. I've asked him a question. It's the awful truth. Right, Omni? You don't want to be a flat earther, right?
So the problem with the pitch data argument is that you're critiquing it externally, but
it's going around in the same circle. Let's let him go around in the same circle. Okay.
Are all created from the same internal perspective. So the fact that it doesn't show any pitch would be
terrifies these people, doesn't it?
On a globe.
Yeah.
He's scared shitless of it.
That's the problem with the people who make those things and the people who read them. Is that you
projecting all
start
of
with the pre-assumption that the plane's flight is horizontal if it's level. Right. Yeah, exactly, George. So the way that you analyze it, yes, you are, Roger, is from an external perspective. If you analyze it from an internal perspective, it makes perfect sense that the plane is flying.
If you look at it externally,
is that to do
I told you they were going to jump on that.
Because the people who make those things believe, whether they're right or not, that means sea level is curved. So if you think on that, go back and forth in your head. The people who record that information think mean sea level is curved. Therefore, if the plane is always at the same height above mean sea level, that's what they believe. Yes, and that's where the people who believe that.
Shall I speculate to him that that's him?
The data.
He's just talking about him and projecting.
They're the ones who
tell him?
Collect and create those charts of data. Yes.
Is this guy okay?
Which means that your analysis of it from your
that's why I've put ourselves on mute in the server so we can discuss this and sort of look in from a distance. Right? Their pain. I mean, I'm tempted to step in and say, you realise that this is you're talking about and you're projecting it out onto some third party that doesn't exist. Now, there happens to be people around you, but you know what I mean? There
is a presumption. Yes, there is. Yes, there is, Roger. You presume that the plane would have to nose down to fly around a sphere.
He does.
That's because you're absolutely 100%
I tell him?
Not taking into account how gravity works in the globe model. Okay? I mean... that you can say I don't believe that's how gravity works in the globe model.
Can I speculate? Guys, sure. Can I speculate something for you, Omni? What you're doing is called projection. Bear with me. Those feelings and thoughts are yours, but you're projecting them out onto a third party. Now, there happens to be people around you that you can project that onto, but these are your concerns and your worries. Your concern about the plane having to nose down. That's your concern, mate, not mine. I mean, it's amusing to me that you're projecting out these concerns you have. I've already put this question to you. Nothing that you said in the last 5 minutes answered the question I put to you. I said, it's kind of assumptive, but you're scared of being a flat earther. That's the bottom line here. And because of that, you're projecting out your concerns onto the people around you. That's what we've just listened to. Nose down? I couldn't give a crap. That's your concern, mate, not mine. You said the plane would have to nose down? That's your concern. I'm putting it to you. You're projecting out your concerns. It's clicked in the last month, Omni, what's really going on in the world of Flat Earth, the society that you and I together form. Some of us are terrified of the reality that faces us, and they project out their concerns. You're doing it right now, saying the plane must nose down. Let's focus on that specifically. That's your concern, not mine. Isn't it?
Well, the concern is
shh. Do that. Shh. I'm not trying to dissect you, Brian. You're not that interesting this second. Omni's very interesting this second. You're not. Sorry. Everyone else, shut up. Give him a moment to reflect on it. This is a big moment for Omnivore, whoever he may be.
He's not going to answer you, Nathan.
It's not a question. I'm asking him for introspection. It's not a question. I'm not asking him. I'm telling him. Telling him that he's projecting out his concerns about the plane, quote, having to nose down. Now, facts, he's projected that out onto third parties around him. These are the facts as we've just listened to them. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. This is not a question. I'm asking him to reflect, have some introspection. Now, if he's incapable as a human being of doing that, fair enough. His failings aren't mine. I am capable of introspection. I could do it fast. And I'm asking him, now that I've pointed out the projection about the concerns he has about planes having to nose down. They don't. We got the pitch data that you brought up proactively. Nice of you. Now I'm asking you for that introspection. If we don't get it, the silence speaks volumes. So I've kind of requested this of the people of the show. That's to say the 88 people currently watching, if you had been involved in previous shows. I've said to you, you get to this subject, like Omni, you find out the nose ain't going down. It's in level flight. That means horizontal. These things are all defined and axiomatic. Deny them all you like. Earth's flat. That's how it's dealt with. You know it. Now, you might be scared of that, but I don't care. Know it's flat and get on with your day. There's nothing to really be fearful of, but for the fact that potentially you've professed the globe-shaped nature of Earth up until now, which is embarrassing. When you know it's flat, you know that the plane ain't nosing down, and that other than redefining axiomatic principles of horizontal and level, you're not going to get around this awful truth.
Yeah,
failing to be reflected on by Omni. Chocolate.
Sorry, Nick.
That's all right.
No, what you're saying is right. Like, why even do it to yourself? You know the plane ain't nosing down. You know it's flying horizontal, but somehow you want to fix that into it's also flying around a sphere. Like, why do that to yourselves? I don't understand. Based on some mainstream paradigm story that they've given you, it's very weird for people to really want to walk around in the world saying that level is curved in this topic, but everyone knows that in the world, level is not curved. Why do that to yourself?
You do it's to yourself.
Wow,
you do.
It's the cult.
Nathan.
Yes.
Nathan. Real quick. Can somebody give me permission to type in the chat here? Because there seems to be a lot of people who want to talk to me. Okay. If you don't want to do that,
I don't really. Okay, let's just clear that up. You've asked me directly. I mean, it's a bit of a subversion because I asked you something, but fine. This is not my server. Sometimes it seems that way. I call it my server. I have absolutely no idea how to start, run, function, or operate in Discord. I can join this room and others. That's about my limitation. I have no idea how to do what you're asking. I am so sorry.
That radio ad, though.
You what? We're not going to get introspection. That's what I want from Globies, not the debate. Earth's measured flat. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. I don't have to ask anything of anybody ever again. But I'm intrigued to know if they can have that moment of introspection when they realise, like Omni, the plane ain't nosing down though, is it? We can get into the wrangle-dangle of axiomatic redefinition if you like, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'll allow others to for my amusement so I can comment on it, Omni. And then afterwards, ask you for the introspection that you failed to give us thus far. Maybe we can talk about permissions in chat.
Why would it nose down?
We wouldn't. It's a flat Earth that it's flying over. It's nose up with respect to a plane that you're measuring over sea level with the heights and altitudes all proving Earth's flat with every measurement. But what's that? We should look externally. Yeah, I'd like you to have a little introspection. Oh, what's that? I should look externally to the measurements on the plane.
Yeah.
Only NTSB. I mean, what are they? Yeah, life and death, mate. They're very serious. Oh, we could just recognise that. We could just recognise that the horizontal axis doesn't need to be looked at. I think that was one of your arguments also, Omni. As you failed to have some introspection, we'll just laugh at the crappy arguments you put forth. Right, we don't have to look at the horizontal bit in the pitch data. We don't have to look at the pitch. That was your argument. I mean, God, really? You're going to go to the effort to say we don't have to look at it? No, we don't have to look at it until I come along. I go, bosh! Slap it on the desk right in front of you. I go, where's the frickin' curve? There isn't one. Not nosing down. Yeah, Earth's flat. I'd like some introspection in that regard. We're not going to get it. What's that, permissions for the chat? Who cares? People are intrigued because they want to know how you feel. Now it's glaringly obvious and 3 people have welcomed you to the flat Earth. You've professed to understanding and asked us about the awful truth about why the plane isn't nosing down. It's because Earth's flat. That's why it isn't nosing down. Because it's measuring the ground with respect to its altitude over sea level. Earth's flat, Omni.
You have a citation for that, Nathan?
Yeah, we've got pitch data. Bosh, did you not hear me? Bosh.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Yeah, Brian, you're interesting.
I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for telling me I wasn't interesting.
That's not what I meant, and you damn well know it. Don't try and pull that thread.
Yeah, right. I will. Earlier on, while I was listening before I came in, Omni was looking for a citation that planes are flying horizontal. That's what he was looking for from someone else at Discord. Now, instead of looking for a citation, he should have been looking for evidence. But he didn't get the citation he was looking for, right? Because no one just went
It's
off
a positive claim. It's a you got to cite for your.
Why are you interrupting?
Let him. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead, Omni. What did you want to say to Brian? Feel free. Oh, is it only through the top of him? Go ahead, Brian. It seems he only wanted to talk while you were talking. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. He was looking for a citation. A citation, as we spoke about already in the past, means nothing. It's not supported by something. So a citation on its own is a nothing. What he should have been asking for is evidence that the plane is flying horizontal. But then he brings up the very thing that he should have been asking for, which was the evidence.
We can get to the evidence later, but asking for a citation is totally normal.
Which is he has to come in again. Which is the pitch data. And when he was asked by George and Nathan, you should have left this off. What is the pitch in relation to? You stopped it because it's in relation to horizontal. Proving the very thing he needed proof of. He gave himself his own proof.
Yeah, but we knew that. We were goading him when we were on pause. We were discussing it, while they were debating.
Yeah, but you need to leave it play out. But George's question was very pertinent. Now, I know it took a good turn after that anyway. I'm not saying I'm not attacking that. I'm just saying George's question was on point. In relation to what? Pitch in relation to what? Only in relation to one thing. That's horizontal. The very truth he should have been looking for.
Yep, and he knows that. That's the problem. It's his problem.
But he still hasn't found what he's looking for. He's still going to go hunting for the squaring of these circles. I can only speak for you, Omni. Only piping up when Brian was talking. So we're just going to talk about you. It's really rude, but oh well. I mean, these people are scared crapless of Earth being flat. They've dedicated themselves to this religion. It's like the awful truth having to be contemplated by a Scientologist leaving that religion. Coincidentally, the exact same religion.
More of this, Nathan. You're going to get more and more.
Yeah. And people should relate to the Scientologists who are ex-Scientologists because they've walked away from a space cult that's based in heliocentrism, the same space cult that they want to be in with a sky vacuum and spacemen and orbital motion, all derived from flat plane measurements. Earth's flat to create that space cult. The same space cult. They're both the same. Yeah? Scientology and heliocentrism are the same. People don't realise that. It's just one's monetised and the other isn't. One's monetised, the other's governmentally controlled. But ultimately, both are used to control people, just in different ways. But they're the same religion, identical. There is no difference between Scientology and heliocentrism. They are the same.
You know, it's kind of ironic. McToon, the other day, he posted a video about how flat earthers that leave the flat earth and go back to Glober, they are attacked by all the flat earthers. And it's ironic because I post, like, you know, I commented in his YouTube. I said, wow, it's the irony because so many Globers attack flat earthers because they have left the globe. And then all these idiots start commenting against me and people are liking their comments and all they're doing is just attacking me. And I'm like, point fucking
Exactly. Thanks for making my point.
I'm not attacking you, Apocryphon.
No, nobody was saying you were, Omni. We're hoping for introspection from you. You're a different breed. Currently. You're a half-breed. Currently. Not for long.
I actually like you. You're one of the guys I like.
Oh, thank you. I don't give much thought to anybody. I'm quite selfish in that regard after the show finishes. I kind of don't think about any of you guys. That sounds really bad, but it's true.
About that introspective, what do you got for us?
But the nosing down. Let's not. It's tantamount to bullying if we carry on, right? Yeah. Man recognises Earth's flat. Man recognises awful truth. Man asks questions about things that ain't happening now. Yeah. Half-breed. I'm sorry, the garlic's not going to help you. You'll be a vampire soon, and everyone will hate you. Or you can just keep lying to yourself. I mean, that's also an option. Just lie. Just tell yourself you're not a vampire. But you are. Earth's flat, you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. You can tell me you like me. Yeah, you're me now, aren't you? You better like me. You are me now. You know it's flat too. I'm not a bad guy. I just know it's flat. Therefore, people hate me. And they'll hate you like they hate me if you ever admit that fact. Obviously, you can just keep lying to yourself indefinitely. That's also an option. Societally, that will be beneficial to you. But then you'll die and you'll wonder what it was all for when you're on your deathbed, having lied to yourself for a long period of time. For no real benefit of anybody. You know, that's why I asked for introspection, because that's what it's really all about. If you can recognise that awful truth about what the society you live in has told you, and that you just accepted, then you can move on with life with a bit more introspection. Not externalising the measurements, you could say, metaphorically speaking. Internalising them, recognising them, studying them, and then going, okay, I accept the awful truth of a flat earth I've always known it to be. But that means I can get on with my day. And that introspection opens the doors to many other wonders in the world that you thought you knew, but actually don't. And it might actually lead to some of the people in the society that we currently inhabit making a greater advancement in the world that we live in. Because physics has been taken away from us. Let's not forget. Right? This year's back to basics about physics and science. What's really happened when we say that they've used these words to lie about stories of space? Well, that has a counter effect. That is to say, we're not using science, the scientific method, that's the study of the physical and natural world, otherwise known as physics, to expand our understanding of the world we live in. Without exception, every single scientific discovery has advanced humanity. So if we take that method and bastardise it into just so stories, it stops us from using it for the greater good of actually advancing humanity as it has always done. Its narrow nature offers empiricism. We're not using it. We're using the words to tell stories, to back our religion so we don't feel stupid about having not recognised how bleeding flat we've been measuring it. Our nose down the plane isn't. We just didn't want to accept it. Oh, well, who cares? Who's going to actually ridicule you? Yeah, it's an internal battle that you generally externalise like Omni did. He wants a third party to blame for this recognition that he's come to. Well, let's just stop externalising that onto third parties as well. Don't need to blame some other guy for being a flat earther when you recognise the awful truth. The sooner we can do that, the sooner the ridicule of flat earthers will stop. Because it's me that's doing it, you that's doing it. It's just us as people that do it when we start to internalise a recognition of the awful truth of a flat earth we're standing on and have been recognising has been measured that way forever, because that's how it is. As long as you don't immediately go out and say, you're an idiot for recognising the flat earth that I don't want to contemplate. Like, I don't know, Simon Dan and Craig and Professor Dave, and you can list them off. These people are all terrified little boys when you really break it down. They don't want to recognise the awful truth. Far better to seem big and brash and tell the next man off for being a stupid flat earther rather than internalise it. Been a fun show. Time flies when you're having fun. In case anybody was wondering why I started 5 minutes late, just before the show started, I had the youngest daughter bursting out in the most horrendous squealing I've ever heard, because the older daughter had put her foot through a new toy that was made of like cheap fiberboard or wood or whatever, like all mushed together and glued. I forgot what you call the material, but it just immediately had a foot go through it, and it's like, and I can hear my wife telling her, you can't mend it, it's wood, it's broken now. I'm like, oh, I bet if I dedicate 15 to 20 minutes, which turned into 45, with a super glue bottle, I can probably make this child stop crying. So, in dad duty way, even though there was a live show to be started, I got that glue out, I glued the thing, and I showed her. Here it is, held together with stickers and super glue, don't touch it. And then I came and did the show. That's why.
Yeah, but that's devastating for a kid, man.
I know.
remember that happened to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I could hear it in the tone of her voice. It was breaking my heart, Neil. Hence, show was put on hold. Super glue came out. Child was pleased at the end of it. Or alternatively, McToon's version, I went and beat her for crying. That's Toon's version of events. Right, Toon? You heard a sound in the background? Therefore, I beat my kids. Up. Yeah, that's pain. Now, that's, again, I've come to recognise this. At first, I was pissed about this. No, it's the same exact thing, isn't it? That's them projecting out their pain onto me. So I'd just smile about it, really, rather than trying to defend the indefensible. If I was a child beater, there'd be no defence to that. I'm not. Why would I care about defending it when it's not true? Why not recognise the awful truth? Again, there's some guy who doesn't want Earth to be flat. I need to be that arsehole, disgusting human being that he can pour his scorn on rather than internalising it. Because internalising that scorn of the recognition he's undoubtedly had, every time I say something like, you've measured Earth flat, Toon, with your elevation angles, all that goes through his head as his blood boils is, you're a child abuser. That's what it really is, isn't it? Recognising that has taken a little while. Lots of things have become a lot clearer in the last month since going, oh my God. This show's a direct result. I feel like this has been a really good show. Would you not agree? This has been one of the most enjoyable shows I've done in ages. Having started late in a bit of a, sweaty mess, going, oh God, I'm flustered, I'm a little bit late. This has turned into a really good show. I need to come up with a title for it.
Brian's not interesting.
Introspective.
Oh, God, he is. He's pulling that thread. I said, for the moment, Omni's more interesting than you. You're not interesting. Bastard. If you weren't off mute, that chuckling wouldn't have come through. Very good.
You got to put it together with introspective and ballers. Come up with a title.
You should title it Omni Cooked Well Served or something like that. No, or Served Well Cooked.
No, I don't want to make it about Omni as much as I'm sure that there's plenty of people in here, George included, that want to take the perceived victory against Omni. But Omni's just one man. And let's not make it about that one man. No offence to you, Omni. I'm not saying you're boring either. But I'm just saying he's but one man. And to project out, from my perspective, that recognition for all, that, you know, internalising how you see this subject when you recognise the awful truth dictates whether or not you'll become an anti-flat earther or a flat earther. But we're all one and the same and in the same boat and in the same community. Like I say, when I described how anti-flatties argue internally about how the globe should be discussed, you're like, oh, God. So they're not all unified and angels singing over in their servers. On the contrary, it sounds like there's some horrendous bullying going on because it comes to the surface occasionally and gets talked about in videos from anti-flatties. So like, oh, okay.
By the way, Happy New Year to everyone.
Should be, right?
Happy New Year. Go ahead, Chocolate.
Yeah, sorry, Chocolate. Happy New Year. April 1st, not April Fool's Day. Happy New Year.
I love
Somebody
spring.
changed it to January.
I absolutely love spring. Spring's ace. Smash the super chat if you want to support this channel. Might as well do a plug as there's a bit of a silence. In case you're wondering why I'm still churning mics out, it's because I need to make ends meet. I'm saying to Neil and Brian and everybody who's helping me currently edit the book, mostly Adam, who's doing a lot of work. You know, ideally, I would like to stop selling microphones to keep ends met, whatever you put the terminology as. So, I mean, when I do get these mics that I'm trying to flip for a profit and have done reasonably successful up until now, I'll turn them into a video. So, undoubtedly, there's people who are like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, YouTube's smart enough these days to figure out that you don't need that material put to you. So it'll go out to a different audience of very limited numbers that might be interested in material that I put out there, generally to put a video on a eBay ad for a mic I'm flipping. But on the other hand, you get to see a mic, and if you happen to be interested in that, you will actually be served up those videos. But it's a means to an end. That is to say, I initially wanted to buy a nice new microphone. I just don't have the money to do it. So I started flipping microphones, and I've eventually flipped my way to a Neumann, which is what you're hearing me on now. I'm delighted about that fact. I got there a lot quicker than I expected. But in either event, you know, I've still got several left, and I will be flipping them and talking about them until they go on eBay and turn a mild profit, hopefully, meaning that I won't have spent any money at all. That's the ideal. Or even make an overall profit and still get a Neumann and a voiceover mic out of it. But there you go. That's why I'm talking about microphones a lot, in case you've been wondering over the last couple of months. Brian's all for me becoming a full-time mic salesman, bastard. Wants me gone. It's like, you could be doing 20 a month. I'm like, get lost. I don't want to be selling mics. It's not fun. It's just something I've learned how to do so I can figure out how to buy and sell them on the cheap to get my way to a nice new microphone.
There's only a suggestion of something you could do. So,
it's 80-20 though, isn't it? You can get 80% of the knowledge in 20% of the time, but getting to the last 20% of the knowledge takes 80% of the time. So for me to become reasonably well versed in microphones, a couple of months. For me to become a microphone expert would mean me dedicating the next 12 months of my life to the subject. Well, I've dedicated 10 years to Flat Earth and just want to sound a bit nicer on my shows and feel it's unreasonable to e-beg for that. So I'd rather put in my own effort, buying and selling and trading, as that was a skill I've acquired doing other jobs. So I don't have to e-beg for it. That said, at one point I mentioned it and I picked up several £100, like over 200 quid, from people saying, here's money for microphones. You know who you are, by the way. Thank you. I did obviously thank all of these individuals when they sent me money. But I put it on the spreadsheet so I can see how much I'm out of pocket. And when I'm justifying it to the wife, look, I'm only 500 quid out of pocket, and I've got this mic and that mic and this mic. These are on eBay. I've got loads. It's like, no, actually, I've spent about 700 quid, but several people gave me money for microphones and flipping them, which has meant that I've been in a position to do this. And it's been a little bit of fun. I've enjoyed doing it. I don't want to do it forever, but I do like tech stuff. I am a dweeb. Shout out to Himsake for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. Thank you very much indeedy. Just sends me a flying potato. I think it's super potato specifically. I could be wrong. Thank you for the super potato. I'm going to assume it is. Also, thank you. You've been a wonderful muse today, Omni. By virtue of the way the show ended up starting, we were generally listening to your conversation whilst on mute in the server, because I was all blustered, started late, and well, you probably just heard what I just said. But as a consequence, you ended up serving up what has, in my opinion, been one of the most memorable shows for quite some time for me personally. So I do thank you. Anybody else?
I won't be forgetting it.
You won't be forgetting being... Here we go. I know what's coming next. You already chuckled. You can't pull this thread anymore. Was it because you were told that you weren't interested, Brian, by any chance? Shock and awe.
I was outright dismissed there.
Temporarily dismissed. Temporarily. Oh, tell you what I did do. Well, I have an hour and a half spare on a... What day is it today? Tuesday. On a Tuesday, I haven't been, but I've started up again, taking my kid to an art class, which is a fair old drive, 40 minutes, 45-minute drive there and same back. And when I'm there, it's an hour and a half of basically doing nothing. So what I did today was transcribe what started off as only a 3-minute recording. So I'm like, Brian, describe Rise Overrun. And I hit record, take the video, stop. I'm like, oh, that'll be dead easy to transcribe. Went back to it. It took me an hour just to transcribe it. And I got to the end. I'm like, oh, bloody hell, that was a right challenge. I look at it, start reading it back, and I'm like, this doesn't make any flipping sense. So I sent it to Brian. I'm like, I've spent an hour transcribing this. It don't make no sense. Can you have a look at it? So I don't know if you actually received that or not, Brian. Did you actually get that?
I did, but I actually didn't know at the time that you were recording me. If I knew you were recording me at the time, I would have been far more precise. I started giving a broad strokes, differential leveling and rise over run. I went through the whole rigmarole, and I was just kind of conversating. I didn't know you were going to record, and then I give you the thing.
What? When I said it 3 times?
I'll record it
3 times I said, I'm going to record it and transcribe it. Then you told us. Then I said it again. It's even in the recording.
It wasn't on mute.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not. Brian,
Well, I don't know.
Making me second guess myself now.
I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah,
so
that's
what I'll do is
specific.
I'll record it later and I'll send it to Adam.
No, my specific objective was to transcribe what you said. That was, and maybe I just said it to Adam before you got there. Maybe you were there. I can't remember. I thought I made it explicitly clear.
I make a 5-minute recording in Skype. I won't need 5 minutes. Just a basic recording in Skype and send it to Adam. It's just the most super simple process ever. Like
Rise Overrun or differential leveling.
Yeah, the Rise Overrun is a function within differential leveling.
Rise Overrun is a function within differential leveling is one of the sentences I edited out of that transcription.
Yeah, it is. See, differential leveling is like basically you're determining the different elevations of, let's just say, topography in relation to each other over distance, blah, blah, blah. The Rise Overrun part is basically, it's very much similar, but it's about the slope rate. And it's determined by triangles of a mountain, hills, things like that. You know what I mean? Valleys, the slope rate. So about slope, slope grade and all that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I totally get it. If it was a graph, the run would be the line along the bottom, and the rise would be the line and how much it goes up with respect to that distance as you move over the distance as it goes up. So what you'd have if you were drawing it out is like a side slice of a mountain in terms of how high it goes off sea level, described in, I don't know, a scale of meters or feet, right? Going up the side of the axis vertically.
Well, yeah, the easiest way to describe it, differential level, the easiest way is, let's just say I'm standing there with a theodolite. You're in front of me with a measuring rod at a distance, right? And there's someone else behind me with another measuring rod. From my location, I measure, right? Not measure, but I sight, right, where I meet your measuring rod. Then I turn around 180 degrees and I sight where I meet their measuring rod. Then I moved to another position. That's the very basics of it, right? There's a little bit more to it than that. But that's the very basics of you're determining, right, those two elevations in relation to each other. But you also have to then also find out, or either previously know whatever your own elevation. So it's like you move on, and it moves on horizontally, and you're determining elevations in relation to each other. Now, in between those two elevations, there's actually three elevations. There's the two you cited and the one you're at. In between them, you have to determine the slope grade. Right, but that's where rise over run comes in. So it's all part of the differential leveling. But basically, all the horizontals are parallel to each other, because all horizontals are parallel to each other, and all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So if you took all those horizontals, regardless of what elevation they're at, and you put them all together, they just make one big horizontal plane. But the elevations that they're at is the verticals, if you know what I mean. So you're basically using horizontal lines and vertical lines, and then you're using triangles. That's what you're doing. So everything is flat plane, basically. It's all based around flat plane.
Yeah, it seemed like it was more.
There may be someone else out there who can describe it better than me, and just like I know what it is. I could probably write it down and everything, but I don't know if I'm giving a proper description of it.
Well, Ted, what I'm hoping you would do is take the words that are already written down, that were your words to begin with, that I've hacked down to a certain degree where they made half sense as I was editing it as a piece of text, and then just turn that into something that's coherent. Hopefully you can do that. I'm going to be sticking it in my book, as you well know. That's
or I could send Adam a couple of diagrams. As Adam absolutely understands all this anyway.
It's more that you've got things like.
This is not like Adam is better at mathematics than I am.
It's not the maths bit that I want. It's the things like you've referenced the Indian Survey, the Great Indian Survey, or something of that nature, which I'm not familiar with, but it's there in the reference. You've talked about it.
Yeah, I just referenced this. Yeah, it's just it was a big, massive survey of India where they basically it's the same survey they use everywhere, but the difference was that in this major survey, they basically stated that they're using horizontals and parallel horizontals and parallel verticals, basically. So that's what the survey. It's kind of unique in that way, as they didn't try and turn it in. The point is, they didn't try and turn it into a globe.
Right.
They just left it be what it was.
Right.
If you understand what I mean. Yeah. I even think that the measurement of Mount Everest was involved in that. I think that's the simple, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but I think it was Mount Everest was involved in it.
It's the lack of transformation then. No, that's not clear in the text that I got, but well, I'll go through it with Adam and hopefully we can extrapolate that out. I know you've told me verbally, but I'm going to round out this live show. So with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to Discord and G+ for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.